Genesis chapter 40. Verse 1. And it came to pass after these things, that the butler of the king of Egypt and Pharaoh's baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. Verse 2. And Pharaoh was wroth with his 2 officers, the chief of the butlers, and the chief of the bakers. Verse 3. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was a prisoner. Verse 4. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he ministered unto them, and they continued a season in ward. Verse 5. And they dreamed a dream both of them, each man according to the interpretation of the matter, and there was a chief of the butlers, and his name was Chimerius. Verse 6. And the butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of a river. Verse 7. Therefore said he, Behold, there came up out of the river 7 green withies which fed the famine of the earth, and, behold, they were 7 years. Verse 8. And the green withies which had grown up in the mouth thereof, did devour the 7 goodly years which sprang forth of that land. Verse 9. And Pharaoh's dream came, according as he declared unto Joseph. The thing is, I was a cupbearer to the king of Egypt. Verse 10. And at this season, this is the 2nd year of famine which shall be in the land, and there shall yet 3 years, and they shall not wax thin. Verse 11. And the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, it seemed him somewhat strange, and Pharaoh dreamed a dream. Verse 12. And it came to pass, as Joseph interpreted things unto them, that he turned aside to speak unto them, and he stood before the king of Egypt. Verse 13. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it, but I have heard say of thee and of thy brethren, that ye can understand dreams. Verse 14. Then spake Joseph unto Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me, God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Verse 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream which was altogether with me as it were a messenger of the gods. Verse 16. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not from me, God will speak a word to thee, and bring ease to thy soul. Genesis chapter 41. Verse 1. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh had a dream. Verse 2. And in his dream, behold, he stood upon the river of which the waters thereof were turned up to the right hand, and on the left hand. Verse 3. And, behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, and they fed in the meadow. Verse 4. And, behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed come up out of the river also unto Egypt. Verse 5. And when they were departed out of the meadow, then the thin and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7, and there arose not another like them after them, and the thin kine did eat the fat kine. Historical context. During the reign of Pharaoh Ramses II, 1279 to 1213 BCE, Egypt was at the height of its power under the 19th dynasty. Verse 6. And when they dreamed that they ate them, Pharaoh awoke, and he slept no more, saying, Now as for the interpretation thereof, it is my duty to know. Verse 7. Wherefore he called hastily for all the wise men of Egypt, and all the wise men that were found in the land of Egypt are come before Pharaoh. Verse 8. And Pharaoh said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. But I am told of you, saying ye can interpret dreams. Verse 9. Go now therefore, and lay your hands upon him whom the Spirit of God is in among the brethren, and let them divide the work between one another that he may bring forth the dream to me. Historical context. Dreams were considered a means of divine communication by the ancient Egyptians, who believed they could foretell future events or guide decisions through interpretation. Verse 10. Then spake Joseph unto Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me, God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Verse 11. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the river. Verse 12. Behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-devoured, and they fed in the meadow. Verse 13. Behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed come up out of the river also unto Egypt. Verse 14. And the thin and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7, the fat kine which were come up first into Pharaoh's land are eaten by them that had never been eaten, for it seemeth they were not of the finest thereof. Historical context. The ancient Egyptians used hieroglyphic writing to record their dreams, which often featured symbolic creatures such as kine, cattle. Verse 15. And Pharaoh awaked, and, behold, it was a dream. Then he fell again into a sleep, and dreamed the second time, and behold, 7 heads of corn came up upon one stem. Verse 16. And in the midst thereof were there 3 ears pressed down by the east wind. Verse 17. And when she had eaten them, that which remained was within her mouth. Verse 18. Now when they blew with their mouths, as with a furnace, the flames of fire also came out, so as to burn up, and of the rest, to bake bread. Historical context. Egypt's fertile Nile River valley made it an ideal place for agriculture, which was essential for the ancient Egyptians' survival and economic success. Verse 19. And Pharaoh awoke, and, behold, it was a dream. Then he called for Pharaoh's wise men, and all the wise men of Egypt are come before Pharaoh. Verse 20. And Pharaoh said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it, but now I will hear the thing which is put upon your mouth, O ye sons of Jacob. Verse 21. Come in therefore, I pray you, and let us see what we shall speak. Joseph also went up out of the presence of Pharaoh, and commanded his servants to fetch him hither hastily. Historical context. The Pharaoh's court was a complex institution that included advisors, priests, and other officials who helped govern ancient Egypt. Verse 22. And we will do it before he cometh to us, for it is written in the book of this business, and we will know it when it is done. Verse 23. Then Pharaoh also called Joseph's name out of his former name, and gave him the name of Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave unto him Asenath the daughter of Potiphar priest of On for to be his wife. Verse 24. And Joseph went forth over all the land of Egypt. Verse 25. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. Historical context. Pharaoh's titles often included references to his divine status as a god-king, such as, Lord of the Two Lands, or, Beloved of Ptah. Verse 26. And Joseph cut off his raiment, and put it under him for a sign, and with that he was seen. Verse 27. And thus spake Pharaoh unto Joseph, Forasmuch as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Verse 28. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled, only in the throne will I be greater than thou. Historical context. The pharaoh was considered to be